Hello, friends, to everybody. Today we are painting a small Tuscan landscape. It is a very small watercolor, but don't get that confuse you because we are still going to be talking about painting and we're going to be talking about layering. So as you can see here, I'm starting from the top and I'm applying the blues. I'm also doing some clouds in the sky. And as I progress down, I actually go into the mountains with the blue of the sky. And then I go all the way down to the horizon, basically, where those trees in the background are going to be. And then I switch colors from very cold tints to very warm tints, which is the yellow side on the bottom. But I'm also doing a different kind of green, as you can see. And that green is it's a very light green, and it reminds of grass. Because we are in the foreground here, it's going to kind of shine through. And this yellow stuff, it's kind of a burnt when they were doing hay. This is just hay that's been cut off, and it has this effect. So we're layering all of this, and it kind of reminds me of raw sienna, which is a classic. It's basically umber. That's what you're going to find in stores. It's called umber, and it's iron oxide. When they mix the color, they use iron oxide, and it has this reddish kind of feeling to it. I'm applying some more blue here to the mountains because they have to be darker than the sky. I just wanted to remind everybody that my Etsy store is up and you can buy prints from my artwork, or you can just send me an email there and I'll paint you an original, whatever you want. It could be a Florence, or it could be a pet that you have. Send me a photograph, and or a relative or your spouse, whatever you want. Link in the description, of course, for the store. And thank you so much for watching this little commercial. And back to the video. When we are talking about the landscape here, we're talking about Tuscan country. During medieval time, this was the time of the mezzadria. So mezzadria is sharecropping system in medieval Tuscany, and basically the farmer will share the crop with the owner, which was usually the king, but not always. And what will happen is the farmer will take care of the land, and whatever the land will produce, that will be shared. I think it was a 50-50 with the owner. And of course, the Medici owned most of the Tuscany. And so they had a tremendous influx of goods from the country, just like this one, with little trees, and it doesn't look like much, but everything was producing. And this could be hay, but during the Medici time, there was wine, olives, olive oil, of course, and then the wealthy Florentine merchants, they would trade with other merchants from outside Florence, and they would trade everything, even the land itself, which is the Terra di Siena, which is the color that we use today, and it's called umber, to go back to my original point. So when painting these trees, they're actually quite important, because trees in the country, and this, any farmer can tell you this even today, but back then it was even more important, because trees in the country, they offer shade. And what shade does, especially to farm animals, is that they can Italy is extremely hot, and the shade is extremely important because your animals will sometimes die because it was too hot. So they can hide in the shade in the hottest period of the day, And you as a farmer can dedicate your day to do other chores. So these little trees that I'm painting here, they're extremely important in Tuscany, even today, because they make the farmer's life much easier. Now here in the background, I'm painting some extra trees on that mountain. And I like to do this because mountains usually are overlooked by artists, and they don't put enough details on the mountains. Because yes, it's true that they are in the background and that you don't see much there, but there is actually things there. You can actually see a lot of details sometimes. So the other thing that's visible in those mountains is little villages. Tuscany is full of small country villages, and they are everywhere. They can be anything from 4 houses to like a small little village like Monteriggioni. If you happen to go to Tuscany, go to Monteriggioni. It's such a beautiful place, and San Gimignano. But these towns during medieval times, they were most likely fighting with the next town, even though they were super close, maybe even a couple of miles. But they were most likely in some kind of conflict with the next town. And throughout the whole Tuscan landscape, you can see a lot of towers. Now, these towers are from the medieval times, and they were used to watch for enemies approaching the town. And you might say today, we don't live in an era like that, but you might say, well, that's not even like possible. Like, how could they possibly spot enemies coming so quickly? It was actually very possible. And from those towers, if you go to any of these small towns and you look down, you can see for miles, 50, 60 miles, you can see down in the valley. And Florence especially, Florence was in a strategic place and was constantly divided between the Guelphs and the Ghibellines. You probably heard about this. But the biggest battle that was fought was the Battaglia di Monteaperti, which is the Battle of the Monteaperti in 1260. So you have to imagine. By the way, I discovered a very interesting thing. These battles, they were also painted by famous painters, but they were actually fought by very few individuals. It was probably like 30, 40 people fighting these battles. Sometimes 50 or 100. That was like a huge army. So it wasn't really a lot of people, and they were decided. The outcome of these battles was usually decided by fate, because it took nothing to just flip the result over. So I'm starting to paint these 2 cypress trees in the foreground, and they are going to be much brighter than the trees in the background, because trees in the background, they go towards the blue. And so I'm trying to do these cypress trees, although cypress trees are typically very dark. But in this case, because they are very close to us, I'm going to paint them lighter than usual, so to speak. And so I really want to start with this underlaying of a really light green. And then on top of it, I'm going to lay a little bit of more of a darker green, but the layer on the bottom, the light green, it's going to shine through. So that's what I want. Even though you might not see it, but your eye will see it. Your brain is going to interpret that, and it's going to see that layer of light green shining through. You're going to see it in the final result, and that is actually by design. So you want to have things that are in the foreground close to you to have more vivid colors and more, well, I would say more warm colors than things that are in the foreground. Those are more cold colors. Things that are way in the background, they are cold colors, and things that are in the foreground, they are more warm colors. Now, as you can see, that light green is coming through. So the cypress trees look very much alive because I have two different greens there. So you may want to consider doing this in your watercolors. It really looks good. And also, I suggest you to do this exercise. Look at other people's watercolors. Google some watercolors, and look if this rule applies to watercolors that other painters have painted. That the foreground has more warm colors, and the background has more of a colder color. So blue, greenish, gray, that's in the background, and then yellow, red, those are colors in the foreground. As I am painting this, I am a little bit taken by it because this has been a particularly hot summer in Italy, and I am painting a lot of shadows here, which are always very nice. It's extremely nice to paint shade and shadows. This year we had really high temperatures, and I like it as it is. I might do some details in the background, but I'm trying to do this little pathway. There's like a little road here, and it's winding down to the field, and I'm trying to like make it a little bit darker so it looks better, because the light is coming from the left side, and so it's shining through the field that's being cut and the hay, and so on the bottom it's going to be a little bit darker. Don't forget to check out my Etsy store. I am putting some more material there every day, some more watercolors, and I'm falling behind a little bit because it is extremely difficult. The Etsy store is also paired with my gelato store, which allows me to print things and ship them all over the world, which is very important. So go and check it out. This is link in the description, of course. This is the final watercolor. It is small, so this is why it lacks a little bit of details, but I have made up my mind, and I'm gonna be doing bigger watercolors because yes, they take a lot more time, but they are so much better, and I have so much more fun with them. So I'm definitely gonna be doing that. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.